This is Business Inspires, a monthly podcast of the TriVillage Chamber Partnership. To run a successful business, you need resources, valuable connections, and community recognition. Business Inspires will provide you with the tools, resources, and examples to inspire you to create the business you're envisioning. Here's Michelle Wilson, Executive Director of the TriVillage Chamber Partnership.
Hi, I'm Michelle Wilson with the TriVillage Chamber Partnership, and this is our Business Inspires podcast. And today we have Amber Wilson with us from Fabtique.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Excited to have you. We were just talking before we went live that Fabtique won our big membership drive contest this year. So excited that you guys won it. There's a lot of great things in there that you'll get to use with the local businesses here, and really excited. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
So we typically start Business Inspires out with the first question, the same with everybody. And that is, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
So that probably depended on what day you asked me. I went through a lot of different phases of being a brain surgeon, and I wanted to be a storm chaser. I'm a big weather enthusiast. And then it went into radio promotions, which is what I did through college. But the one thing that I knew that I wanted to do was I wanted to get into something and start from the ground level and work my way up. I thought through college that was going to be in radio and music promotions because that's what I did. And then I also worked at Macy's part-time.
Okay.
And who knew that that was going to be the path that, would lead me. But I just knew I wanted to get into something. I wanted to learn it. I wanted to stick with it and become full circle and gain all the knowledge, and now here we are.
And here you are. So you did. You lived that part of your dream, right? So
yeah.
With Fabtique, was Fabtique your first ground level up venture?
It was, yes. So
okay.
This is the first one, and so far so good.
It's over a year now, correct?
Yes, it'll be a year and a half.
Wow. Good.
So we're having fun.
Yeah, well, of course. You're on fun clothes every day. Yeah.
It's clothes. It's fun people. I worked in Upper Arlington at the White House Black Market.
Okay.
So that's where, after college, I started working there and just kind of continued my journey and went through the management. And then I took a step back, and then I was coming back into Columbus and reached out to Pat Barker, who's my business partner.
Yes.
And she was looking for a passion project. And she was like, wait a minute, I found this store in Cleveland, and I don't think we have anything that's quite like it. And I was like, well, tell me about it. And she was like, so what are you doing moving back? I had moved to the beach.
Okay.
And yeah,
and
another
you
story.
Came back.
I know. That's another story for another day. But I said, yeah, I want to come back to the city. And I was like, she started talking about her idea. And I was like, well, I have retail experience just from my corporate as a store manager at White House, and she's got a lot of experience through her past. And we got talking, and I was like, well, let's talk about when I move back and just kind of see where it's going to go. It wasn't like, hey, this is what we're doing, and if we don't, we're failures. We looked at it as, let's just move back, let's touch base, let's see what the scoop is. We had no idea of what it would take to run a business. We literally sat down with a piece of paper, and we had done some work on our own, just Googling this, that, a little research. And we sat down with a piece of paper and we're writing, okay, what are our bills going to be? I wish I'd kept this piece of paper. Like, it literally said lease and utilities and an estimated payroll, like how many hours are we open? So we need this many managers and this, and just trying to pull any information that we had from our previous jobs. And then it turned into a spreadsheet. And then, we started meeting these wonderful ladies, and everything just started falling into place.
So it seemed natural.
It's uncanny. We talk about even Pat and I, our responsibilities fell into place. I took care of this and she took care of that. And then it's like, okay, here's what we need to get done today. I'll do this and you do that, because we naturally have some strengths that we already knew. I mean, we still talk about how it's weird that none of us had to be like, so do you want to do this? Because I really don't like it. It's like, no, I'll do that because that's where my history is. And she'll do this because of that. And a few things overlay. So it just started.
How nice that was so natural for both of you to make that work and not have a struggle.
It is. I mean, again, it's just, we say it's uncanny. And I think, I'm someone who has a lot of faith, and I believe in, you step out there and when I left my full-time job to start a new experience, it was stepping out. And since then, I've learned you go with your gut instinct, and whether you want to call it faith, whether you want to call it, anything that's coming into intuition, you go for it. And we just said, let's sit down and see where this takes us. And it kept taking us to these great places of meeting someone to help us with the financial report, and meeting with someone who could help us with a graphic design, and meeting someone who was an architecture, and someone who's a photographer that could help us out. Because when you're starting out, there's a lot of things you have to do, and it's expensive, and you don't really know what you're getting into. You have no idea what it's going to cost. And the other big thing is, which I guess when you start any venture, is just not having fear. Going into and saying, don't be afraid to ask someone. If they laugh in your face, say, well, I don't know how to run a store, so I'm just asking. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to ask. And most people are very willing to help and sit down and say, okay, here's kind of what I'm doing, and here's what's going to help you. And then that would lead us to somewhere else. And all these puzzles just started fitting into place. So we just kept taking it step by step. It's like, I always compare it to like jumping off a cliff, like at the beach. If you think about it, you're not going to do it. But if you think, let's just walk up to the top, I can always turn around and walk back down. Just take it step by step. Just get up there, check out the view, see how it's going. And then if you want to take the big leap, you can go for it. And we just kept doing it. And all of a sudden, it's like, well, I guess we're about to get thrown off this cliff. Let's go. We're opening tomorrow.
Taking the leap. Oh, that's awesome. So how did you decide? That's all the back end stuff that seemed to really work and come together quite naturally. But how did you decide what you wanted Fabtique to be?
Well, we talked about it. And again, Pat had visited a store in Cleveland that was a style that she was having problems finding. And then actually I was having problems finding. And that was some casual fashions that were still a little trendy and kind of hip, but beyond the juniors market where it's a little more, I don't want to even say age appropriate, but just kind of style and fit appropriate. And we also didn't want anything too wear to worky. I love, White House where I worked and some other places that I shopped, but I didn't need to be that dressy anymore because I didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I don't need to wear dresses or suits or corporate attire like that, because that's not what I was doing. And I was like, well, I still want to be cute, though. I don't want to be doing just leggings and T-shirts every day. So it's like, where do we find some mix of stuff? Well, I would find it at higher end stores. Thought, well, I don't always want to pay that price for the really cool, trendy stuff I see on Pinterest. So we're like, let's do some research. And we talked about it, and you just sit down, and we said, here's what we wanted to do. And we were both on the same page of finding that trendy clothes that are for the beyond junior age, and fun and stuff you can wear every day. And it just worked. Like, we were just like, this is what we're going to do. So we went shopping, and
there you are.
Bam.
Yeah.
We have a whole store full of clothes.
When I was preparing for this podcast, I was looking at your website, of course, and under the About section. And I loved that your profiles and where you talked about each other. But you referred to fashion as being like music or jazz to you. And so that was really intriguing to me. So, of course, I read it in detail, and I think you should share that, because I think that's just such a cool analogy of how you view fashion. And
it is. Well, I don't think any of us are just like one person all the time. And I think that's hard to find. Some of it maybe, to sound cheesy, like a coming of age where you think, okay, I'm a prep in high school, and I'm a cheerleader, and this is it, and this is that I wear Abercrombie & Fitch and this fashion, and that's it. Then you go to college and you get in this group and you become that. And growing up, one thing I've learned is I had a lot of different styles. I had my style from this shop that I like, and I had my vibe this day. And some days I wanted to be a little edgy in my rocker check-in. Some days I wanted to be, preppy and wear my plaid or my lily. And some days I wanted to be super casual and a little funky. And that was what I liked about fashion, was you could change it so much. So we wanted to embody that in our store, that it's not just this vibe. Pat and I have two different styles, and we can pick stuff out and say, oh my God, you're going to love this. And she's like, you're going to love this. And we did the same with our customers. My aunt loves the store. This customer I know would love our store. This person loves our store. All different styles. So when we're shopping, we're thinking of all of that at the same time. And I think inside us, we all have different vibes, and we can be both. Why do we have to be just one?
I love that you took in different types of personalities and styles, and that you can appeal across the board rather than really just having a niche that's very limiting to who your customer is. And I've noticed when I've been in there that you have some brands that, of course, I know nothing about, I will confess, but I love it. And, and it expands my horizons a little bit. But you also have some local things in there. You have some local artistry and jewelry and glassware. So can you talk about that for just a minute?
Yeah, sure. That's one of the huge pluses of owning your own store, is you get to decide what you want to buy. It's not someone sending it down. So yes, we go to the trade shows and we look at boutique brands, and we wanted to get a lot of brands that you cannot find in Columbus.
Okay.
Some of it's because obviously if they don't want too many shops selling the same thing, which is great because then we're like, okay, it forces us to find some new stuff that we like. But we can also have local artists and designers in our store. You can't do that on the grand scheme levels. So we're able to have someone who comes in who's like Hallie Dussault from Upper Arlington, who's like, I make this great jewelry. I love it. What do you think about it? And we're like, well, let's put it in our shop and see. Ultimately, Fabtique is going to be what our neighborhood and our customers like and what they want to shop. And that's what we're here to have. And they love it. She keeps bringing us new stuff, and then, you know, we want it. We got to keep it on the table for the customers. And then we've got...
and do you have to think about that? Like, so Holly, she comes to you. Does she go to other places in Upper Arlington? Is she...
I think she does.
Okay.
I think she has a few spots that she's kind of drops a few things off.
Okay.
And that's okay. It's like we have our own collection because everything's one of a kind, so everything's a little different.
Gotcha.
We've got another couple.
So she's not diluting the brand.
No.
I mean,
oh, no.
Okay.
It's her collections are again one of a kind pieces, unique. That's what's so cool about it too.
Right.
Is no one else will have this exact piece. Like she literally sat down and made it and put it together.
Perfect.
And we have a couple accessory brands that we pick from local people that we have in store, and I think it just builds a good story. Shopping small and local foods and local businesses have made this huge surge in the past few years. So it's great to have that in our community. That's like we're not just here to sell all these clothes from these name brands of people who make millions of dollars and go to Paris and New York and design clothes. But we want people here in Columbus, and Columbus has such a great pool of designers and art.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's great about our neighborhood is that we don't you started at Macy's, and that's awesome. I shop there too, but we don't have Macy's in our neighborhood. You know, we have this great mix of individual boutiques and restaurants that are independently owned. They're not necessarily chains, and that's a heavy concentration in our area. So, you know, it's really, I think we're all finding that passion that there's a surge for shopping local and supporting small business and supporting local artists and restaurateurs and retailers. So it's exciting that you're part of that mix.
It's so exciting. And the feedback's been great.
Good.
The customers that come in, you really feel a connection with them. We can talk to them and we can say, if we hear 3 or 4 people say they're looking for white dresses and we're like, we have no white dresses, we can act on it. We can go say, oh my God, let's find some. Let's see what we got going on. Let's take your name. You know, we don't have this coming in now, but I can pull up my orders and say, I've got jeans from this brand coming February 1st. So let me take your name. Let me call you. We just want to be the best part of the community. Like, yes, we're a business and a business needs to make money and then they pay their bills and their employees. And that's the general basis of any business.
Sure.
But there's so much more to it that gets you to that spot. And it's really being in the community. And we feel like they're a part, like it's their store too. Like,
well, yeah, if they're getting to come to you and say, this is what I'm looking for, then
we're like, hey, cool. What do you got? You got an idea? Oh, you have someone who's, a local artist. So you want to send them our way? Sure, send them. Let's see if it's going to fit with our vibe and what we got going on. Or someone has an idea, and we do it with our associates too. Someone has an idea about merchandising or a window display or about brands. The girls are so awesome. They'll go on vacation. They'll come back. I went to this cool boutique in Nashville and I saw a couple shirts. I liked them. I think they're us. Can we carry them? Here's the brand.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
it's nice that they feel so comfortable coming back to you as the store owners. And
it's a huge family of, Fabtique family, like not to be like cheesy, but it is. It's a huge family. And that's what's so fun about it is, it takes a village to grow anything. And we have our village of our associates and our customers and the community. And it's just been great. It's I keep saying uncanny because I just couldn't imagine a first year in business going the way this one has. It's been awesome.
Then you're doing something right. I mean, gosh, isn't that what that says? You're doing something right. You're treating your employees great. They're feeling valued, and the community loves what you're doing, and they get a say in what they're looking for, and that's really awesome. I think you guys found a great mix. I won't use the word uncanny, but I would say that that's pretty unique. So I think that's great. Congratulations on all of that. Surely there's some challenges along the way.
Oh, of course.
How do you handle challenges? What keeps you looking forward, moving forward when you face those challenges? Obviously, you're going to have challenges in anything you do. And when you go through them, it makes it worthwhile. I think you cannot, again, be afraid of failure. I listen to other people that own businesses and have companies and motivational speakers. I myself was a cheerleader back in the day, so I naturally have this. Can you not tell? Yeah. No. A naturally peppy, positive attitude.
I have a lot of faith, so I believe that when every challenge comes, you just look at it and say, okay, here's what I need to accomplish. Here's why I don't want to do it, or I don't know how to do it, or I don't like to do it, or, why I'm upset about why it's a challenge. And you just kind of talk yourself through it and figure it out. This is when it goes into the asking help from people, not being afraid to say, okay, this isn't my strong suit, Pat. Can you help me with this? Or, hey, I'm going to reach out and talk to this person. Or sitting down and just, okay, I need to do some research about this and figure out what we're going to do. And some challenges are just time-based. They're not, you have employees and say you have 2 that leave and they graduate at the same time. Okay, a challenge is now our scheduling. We're working a lot more. We're figuring out, well, it's a short term. So don't get too upset about it. Realize this is a short-term issue. It's going to get resolved. And then you move forward. I think it's just maybe taking a moment to vent about whatever's going on, but just really looking at it and saying, okay, this is just a hump. You're going to get through it. It's not the first one you've had, and it's not the last one.
Sure. So it sounds like you and Pat can offset each other that way too.
Oh, we absolutely do. The things I struggle with, she's like, here, we got this. And then it's something she'll struggle with. I'm like, oh, that's no problem. We got this. It's one of the best things about this is the relationship that Pat and I have been able to build. We worked together at White House, which is how we met. And then she left to go back to her career. Then we stayed in contact just as friends, as even a mentor when I was moving on to my next step. And then we got back together and collaborated, and now we're the best of friends because we own a business together and we're business owners. Like, it's been the best. Like, that is one of the best things is now I could not imagine not talking to Pat every single day.
Sure. But it could go the other way. I mean, I think it shows what your personality types, bringing those together, what a success that is, because that could be a real strain on friendships, and you always hear don't go into business with family or friends. And you guys are defying that.
You do. And I think our relationship, what's unique about it, because I've analyzed this too a lot, is when we first started, I was the manager and she was my employee.
Pat was your employee?
Yes. Okay. She worked for White House part-time when she was raising her kids, and I was the manager there. So that was how our relationship started, even though she had more experience in the workforce than I was. Then she goes to work at full-time, and we become almost mentor, where I start looking at her and saying, hey, I don't know what I want to do next. Do I want to stay in retail? Do I want to just follow my path to being, district manager, maybe a regional, moving forward? She became almost my mentor. So it's like the table switched. And a little friendship got in there where we had things in common, watch a Buckeye game together, go grab lunch, something like that. I moved to Florida. We met up down there because she was visiting. We just caught up. And then it became, so let's work together and be friends. So it's like we weren't best friends first. We had those levels of hierarchy that switched back and forth. So I think it kind of took any of the ego or any of the stress that sometimes can come when you work with a best friend. Sure. That's what everyone says. But you also, if you do go into business with your best friend, you have to throw it out on the table. You have to be honest. A business relationship is going to be the same as a personal relationship. You're there. You're not, I don't want to use the word stuck, but you're together. You're committed. You have this going on. You have to be honest. And if you can't be honest, you shouldn't be a business owner because you're going to have a lot of tough, honest conversations, whether it's with vendors, suppliers, employers, customers.
But it's so nice that you offset each other in those areas and that what you find to be a challenge, she doesn't necessarily find at the same level. And you can tuck each other down when you need to.
We do. It's great. Yeah. We're the same, but it's different things that spark us. So
sure.
Again, it just works. I don't know. I can't do anything but say it had to be meant to be.
Well, it sounds like it. It certainly sounds like it. So where can people find Fabtique?
So Fabtique is located at the Shops on Lane Avenue.
Okay.
In Upper Arlington, 1657 West Lane. We're also online at fabtique.com. And we have Facebook and Instagram. So go to our website and check us out there. We like to post a lot of our new clothes that we have in and outfits that are coming about and trends and things like that.
Can they shop online?
We don't have shopping online right now.
Okay.
We just have photos and outfits. But we do have a lot of people who will Facebook message us or will call the store and say, hey, I saw this online. Do you have this? Or they'll, do the little Insta message thing of like, hey, do you have this in a size small? And we'll check it. We check it throughout the day and we're like, yeah, we got it. Come on in. Or sometimes we'll post other pictures, like take pictures like, I don't have that cream sweater, but I've got this one. What do you think? And
yeah. So I think what you're saying right now sounds kind of cool, that it's almost like a personal shopping experience because of your boutique-ness.
It is. And that's what we want it to be. When people come in the store, it's great to say, oh my gosh, what do you got going on? Like, hey, you just go over here and shop. I'm going to get a room ready because you're going to Nashville for Christmas. Let's get some fun outfits set for you, whatever's going on. We have customers who call ahead of time and say, hey, I'm bringing my daughter in. She's got recruitment going on. Here's what she needs. And we're like, sure, we'll take a peek around and look and see what we have going on. We wanted that personal experience.
Sure.
And that's where boutiques thrive. And I think that's something that is missing in the bigger box stores. I think it's something people really want now. I mean, my aunt was talking about when she used to shop at a bigger box store way back in the day, and she would get that personal experience at a big mall in Cincinnati. And now we're like, oh my gosh, that would never happen at that store. Like, that's just not their route. And so that's what we wanted to bring. And being in this area with Upper Arlington and Grandview is great because we get a chance to have those relationships. You get to see people. We have new people come in, but then we also have repeat customers come in, and it's great to see a smiling face and say, hey, how's it going? What's up? How did those boots work out for you? And did you like it? Do you have this? Oh my gosh, what else do you have in your closet? I mean, we have people bring stuff from their closet. I'm like, bring this in. We will match stuff up. And they're like, really? And I'm like, that's what we like to do.
Yeah. So you can talk somebody into maybe helping define their style too. I mean, for someone, I am so run of the mill, like, don't give me any patterns because I won't be able to match it with anything.
No.
I mean, all this, you know, you can help with that, right?
Yes.
Good. Then I can walk in and
Come
you can
in. We only use what the customer will give us.
Sure.
Obviously, some people are set in their ways. That's what they want, and that's great. But we like to, if we build a rapport with someone, to kind of push them out a little bit and say, okay, I know this isn't what you want, but just give it a try. See what you think. Or I've put a few things in your room. Don't feel obligated. But I know for me, sometimes the things that other people pick out, even the girls at work will be like, here, try this on. I'm like, meh. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did. Who knew I love this color?
Yeah. That's great.
We like to do that and push people out of their boundaries to really find, you know, what works for them. It can be very intimidating shopping in a clothing store, especially when you hear the word boutique.
Yes.
You think, people are judging me. What if I pick out something and they're like, that'll never look good on her? They're judging me. What if I pick out a size? She's not that size. She's this. What if I pick out... In our heads, we're crazy, and we're our worst enemies. Mm-hmm. So we wanted a welcome place where women come in and, you know, we say, inspire your style. Find out what makes you feel good. And one day it might be holey jeans, a black top, and the next day it might be a sundress. That's great. Get both. So depending on how you feel that day, you're inspired to wear that piece.
You're covered.
You're covered.
And you guys, around the holidays, and I think I talked to you about this, but I loved that you did an event that included men.
Yes.
It's a woman's boutique, but you wanted to include men.
We wanted to include the guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't know what to shop for.
Sure.
Or, you know, maybe their wife say, go there, get me a gift card. But we wanted to have an event to include them because they're part of the Fabtique family too, and introduce our store to them, do something that's fun, but also introduce ourselves to them. So now that they've been in, hopefully they feel comfortable coming back and saying, hey, remember me? My wife needs something for her birthday now. And they feel like they have a place to shop. If it's last minute and they forgot something and they're like, shoot, I forgot to go on Amazon and order this, or go here and order